Tyler Boyd scored his 7th goal of the season, but the LA Galaxy defense conceded a season worst 5 goals. And as such, they weren't just eliminated from the playoffs, they were straight out executed by Minnesota United 5-2 on Saturday night. Good evening. I'm James of Faithful Angelino Sports with a rapid recap of LA Galaxy soccer. And if you enjoy talking about the 5-time MLS Cup champs, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We talk about the Galaxy here, good times and bad, and there's no sugarcoating this. This was bad. Boyd's goal lifted LA to a 1-1 score in the 33rd minute. But the moment that they fell behind 3-1 in the second half, FC Dallas scored a goal against San Jose. The reason that mattered is it lifted Dallas to a 7-point advantage over LA. LA has just 2 games left in the season. The Dallas-San Jose game ended in a draw. Therefore, the most points the Galaxy could get in their final 2 games are 6. That means they cannot catch FC Dallas, or any team for that matter, for the final playoff spot. The Galaxy are toast. And that would be 2 times not making the playoffs under 3 years of Greg Vanney's stewardship. End of story. Teemu Pukki scored 4 times for Minnesota United. I have no idea. I went back through the records during the game. I don't know the last time or if it's ever happened that one player scored 4 times against LA. But it was becoming clearer and clearer as the game went on just how bad the hobbled Galaxy defense literally looked like they were giving up. Because most of the shots, and by the way, Minnesota put up at least 25 by the time I stopped counting. Most of the shots literally looked like a hockey scrum right in front of the net, where everybody's just flicking their stick to try to jam the puck past the goaltender. I don't even know if it's fair to put this loss on Jonathan Bond. You can't stop that many shots at point blank range. And I want to mention the fact where Minnesota United was going into this match. While they did have a better record than the Galaxy, while they too are chasing a playoff spot, unlike the Galaxy now, Minnesota United on Friday let go of its manager, Adrian Heath. And yes, you do have to wonder what that means for Galaxy manager Greg Vanney. Because also, DC United manager Wayne Rooney resigned tonight from his post, literally minutes after the final whistle. So the question then becomes, your move, manager Vanney, what are you going to do? Because you could make a case, if you're him, that he gets another year. But you could also theoretically be like Rooney and simply fall on the sword for lack of results. Now, if I do realize that this has been debated on Twitter and its other social media sites. But ask yourself, does Vanney actually have a case, not just from the injuries, not just from losing Chicharito, not just from losing Gaston Brugman or a bunch of people on the back line, right? You could easily see how as much as half of the Galaxy starting lineup had their season cut short by injuries. Is that really the manager's fault? Is it? That's a fair question. But in addition to that, you could sit there and say, look, had the Galaxy done the right thing and fired President Chris Klein before the start of the season, instead of extending his contract, leading to a whole bunch of other drama, which we need not recycle here, is it possible that a new front office could have constructed a more competitive team for Greg Vanney? On the other hand, you could sit there and say, James, it doesn't matter. Vanney and Chris Klein were thick as thieves. And by the way, once Klein was out, Vanney got more power in the organization. It was his call as to how the team could be built, and therefore missing the playoffs is on him. You could go either way. You should have points to make. By all means, comment on this thread, because I'm genuinely interested. I could see it go both ways. I really can. So when you miss the playoffs and you're one of the MLS marquee teams, changes have to be made. The problem, if you're one of those people on the Vanney outside, I should say, is that Vanney got more power once they fired Chris Klein. Remember, the Galaxy restructured its front office. Vanney answers to nobody other than AEG president Dan Beckerman. And if Beckerman fires Vanney, who replaces him? Who makes the call? I don't know. Because anybody who would make the call to replace Vanney is technically working under Vanney right now. So the Galaxy right now, while they did solve a major problem by getting rid of Chris Klein, they're absolutely not out of the woods. And I'm tempted, genuinely tempted, to hear what you have to say. Leave comments in the thread. Now, as for the second Galaxy goal, that was scored by reserve Dejan Joveljic. But that was after Minnesota had already compiled an insurmountable 5-1 lead. So, let me know what you think in the comments thread. Once again, your final score. Minnesota eliminates LA Galaxy 5-2 on Saturday night. And if you enjoyed talking about the Galaxy with me, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We talk Galaxy soccer every single day, and I will have more points to make in the coming days. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelinos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. Take care.